Hi, it's Maria from Resilient Journeys. I'm so glad you could join me today with some chair yoga for good days and bad days. I hope you've had a good day today, but if you haven't, maybe this will give you some encouragement. I think one thing that can help us to be able to navigate our days, whether it's good or bad, is just remembering that life is ever changing. Nothing is permanent. And so the good news is nothing lasts forever. Um, to have peace with this concept, I think it goes along with some acceptance. And one way that I have found that I've read that can be helpful with accepting this nature of days being good or bad or anything in between is thinking about how it is rowing upstream as compared to rowing downstream. So if we row downstream, there'll be joys, there'll be challengings. Sometimes we fall out of the boat, but we can get back in and we can learn from it, maybe find meaning of our experiences. Sometimes that's at the end of the day. Sometimes it's years from now, but finding meaning of different experiences. So as compared to rowing upstream, where a lot of us can try to make things the way that we need it to be, the way we want it to be, that just basically leads to a phrase of what we resist persists. So we'll think about that as we're practicing our chair yoga today. So I'll start our sequence with seated, and we'll go through the sequence that way, and then I'll show you the same sequence standing. And by the way, when you're practicing chair yoga, there's less load on your spine when you're doing the poses standing, but absolutely understand that if there's balance issues or maybe you're recovering from a surgery or something like that, or maybe you're at your desk at work. So I'm going to lead the sequence from the chair, and then we'll stand up, and then we'll do the sequence standing. We'll end with some counted breath work, and that's the plan for today. So I'm going to hop up and walk back to my chair, and then we'll get started with our sequence. Okay, so we'll begin today with some cat-cow poses from the chair. And so let me turn this way so you can see me better. So I'm not sitting all the way back in my chair. I'm certainly trying to have some good posture. So if you're able to, sitting upright. And maybe before you begin, it might be helpful to do some of those energy releasers where we just kind of maybe move around, whatever makes sense for you before we start with our pose. And you can wiggle around and you can rotate your joints, taking a deep breath, and getting ready to practice. So we have our spine straight. It's not locked, but as straight as we can. We'll have our knees bent. Your hands can be on top of your thighs. And you can inhale and exhale. You can look up at the ceiling. Inhale again and exhale by looking down at your lap. You can continue with that level of option of cat dog, or you can work up to some more movement if it's what you're interested in today. So for a cat cow with a little bit more movement, we'll inhale and exhale. Bring your fingertips together, looking down, curling the chin, pulling the navel in. Inhale up. We'll do this a few more times. Just go at your own pace. You don't have to go exactly the same pace I am, but what makes sense for you. I would encourage you not to go too fast, because that's how sometimes we might have an injury if we move too fast. So we'll go a few more times. Bending the elbows out. You can let your hands slide up and down the thigh. Remembering to tighten the navel towards the back of your spine when you're in your cat part. We'll go one more. And we'll come back into a neutral position. I'll turn my chair forward. And just let's take a moment to notice how you might feel compared to when we first started. Maybe were possibly a little anxious before we started, or maybe a little sad. You might notice feeling a little bit calmer, maybe a little bit more grounded. Notice what you feel in your feet, your chest, your hands. Next, I'll invite you to do a pose called an angel breath. So we'll begin with inhaling and bringing our hands up about mid-body. And turning our palms down. Exhaling. The next time when we inhale, we'll begin turning toward our right. And then we'll do a small twist as we exhale to our right. Inhale up. Coming back to center. Inhale. And turning to your left. We'll continue, and you can go in that same pattern, or if you'd like to experiment and raise your arms higher, you can come to a cactus. Inhale and exhale. Maybe it might be kind of interesting to do your cactus that way. You can continue with what you have done, or you can bring our arms up higher. And this is if you don't have any shoulder rotator cuff issues. It'd be helpful to keep your stomach tighter. Taut, I guess, would be the best way to describe it. So you're protecting your lower back. The poses that we just completed are good for our spine and our shoulders. The twist part is good for our internal organs. So we're twisting and moving. It's kind of massaging the internal organs, helping them work more efficiently. Now I'm going to guide you with an elbow toward knee. I'm going to kind of come up on the edge of my chair a little bit more. And so your beginning elbow to knee might be inhaling, bringing that left arm up and bringing it maybe toward that right knee. Don't necessarily have to touch it. Think about what your body range is. Going to continue to emphasize that it's not about how far you can go or how much you can twist or how much you can bend down. What is important is listening to your body, knowing your body, and maybe working up to some more movement. All right, so we'll do the other side. Inhaling, exhaling. Let's do that, and then we'll bring our arms up and we'll look up at the ceiling. And exhale, bringing your hands down and tucking the chin. Continue in that motion. Those of you that like to go a little bit further will inhale, maybe bring this hand up to the back of your neck, and exhale toward the knee. And you're supporting the back of your neck as you're tilting your head up a little bit. Inhale and exhale and looking down. Pushing into your thighs and with your hands and coming back up. We'll inhale and bring your hands to the back of your head, maybe stretching them open. Inhale and exhale, coming down to the knee. And I just realized you could bring your knee up to your elbow. Why not? We'll do that once more. Inhale and exhale. A good rule of thumb is anytime you're exhaling, that's when you're wanting to kind of crunch or bend forward. And now if you'd like, on your inhale and exhale, you can drop your head back farther if you'd like. Again, you're supporting the back of your head. You might feel your biceps stretching. Inhaling, bringing your hands down to your thighs, tucking your chin. And then we'll come back up to our neutral position. We're going to work on some chest expansions. That's really helpful if you might have some challenges with your posture. For example, when we're reading or working on computers, we can tend to have kind of this posture. So one way that I try to remember to work on my posture is bringing my ears over my shoulders. This chest expansion pose could also be helpful for opening up and helping the spine be more aligned. Okay, so you can cross your hands over your heart, and before we begin, just notice which hand is on top. That's because when we do this on the next time, we're going to try to have the other hand on top. If that's too much to keep track of right now, that is not a problem at all. You can work up to it. The purpose in changing the hand movement is to just encourage our brain to have some plasticity. Also, if you have trauma in your background, the brain really loves when you're doing opposite things. It's kind of healing. So let's inhale and open up our arms. And exhale, and if you can, bring the other hand over. I had to stop and think. I'm saying that because I've done this for years. I was surprised that I forgot. But that's just an example that if you forget, you can laugh. It's always good to laugh, especially if you've had a bad day. So we'll inhale, exhale. Your breathing might be different than mine, so you can go faster or slower. And it seems to be most effective if you're inhaling when you open your arms. If you get a little dizzy, that means just to maybe you're breathing, to your inhales and exhales might be too long, so you can always back off of it. Next, we'll inhale, bring our arms up. So it might be here, it might be here. And then you'll bring your hands to your waist. You want to give your spine muscles a little massage while you're back there. Your thumbs can massage that band of muscles that's along your spine. And then we'll inhale, we'll look up, bring our wings together. Stretch the front of the throat. And come back down. Okay. Come forward. I'm going to guide you with some forward folds. So just a word of guidance. If you have high blood pressure, your forward fold, it's best to keep your head about this level. Let me turn to this side. So you wouldn't want to drop your head all the way down if you have some blood pressure issues. So we'll inhale and we'll exhale. And we'll do it this way first. Tightening the stomach. Protect that lower back if you can. One reason that you see me gliding my hands down my legs is that can help us with knowing where your body is in space. A lot of times when we've had difficulties, we have trouble having that mind and body connection. So that's one benefit of letting the hands glide. If it doesn't feel right to you, then you do not need to do it. You could hold on to your chair if you'd like. Okay, so we're going to do some chair mountain poses. And on the first part of it, we'll just feel our seat grounded into our chair. Let's take a moment and just notice what that feels like. You're probably feeling your bones of your rear end, in contact with your chair. Let's remember to bring our ears over our shoulders for our good posture. We'll inhale and we'll exhale, and with kind of a push, or pushing your fingers toward the floor. And why don't we stay here for a breath or two? Such a simple pose, but there's a lot going on there, isn't it? Next, you'll take your hands and you'll interlace them. Inhale and exhale. Bring your hands out forward. Inhale. And come up. And the next time when you're up, let's tighten the torso and lean over to your right. Inhaling and exhaling over to your left. And your hands float down. You can bring your hands to your waist. You can also, if you want, you can also clasp your hands both behind you. If you have a belt or a strap to your robe, you can hold it instead of clasping the hands. This is called an action pose. So we'll inhale and we'll exhale. We'll lean over to the right. Coming to the center. Lean over to the left. And then we'll look up. And then we'll come forward. You'll come this forward if you have high blood pressure, or if it's good for you, you can come further over. Tightening the tummy when you're coming up. Shake those hands out. Shake whatever feels good. Okay, well that may be all you would want to do today, because the rest I'm going to be doing the same sequence with standing with the chair. But if this is where you would like to end, then I would just encourage you to maybe just take a moment, maybe do some deep inhales and exhales, maybe about 8. And then when you're ready, you can go on with your day. Or if you want to do the chair sequence again while I'm showing it standing, that'd be fine too. Whatever works for you. Okay, so we'll stand up. Oh, I forgot. Something that I learned from Ageless Grace is when you're standing up, sometimes it can help decrease dizziness if your hands are on top of your thighs, looking where you're going instead of bending your head down, but looking where you're going as you're standing up. That can help when we're standing up from sitting for a bit. Okay, I'm going to turn this chair a little bit, and just as a reminder, we're going to go through the same sequence, but with standing. So we'll do our cat-cows. So just pick the level that you would like to do. And just as a reminder, on the exhale is when you're rounding, elbows are pointing out. You can soften your knees, that might feel nice. And now we'll do our angel breaths. And you can hold on to your chair. You can certainly stand behind your chair if you'd like. I'm going to stand beside mine because I think you can see me better, but just know that you can make that choice. And so if you recall, an angel breath will come up forward first. And then we'll exhale to the side, just and soften the knees perhaps. Letting it feel cool to come up on your toes. Just visualizing yourself with angel wings, especially if you've had a hard day. We'll do our elbow to knee. So we'll inhale and exhale, and let's bring that elbow to the knee. Lost my balance there a little bit. I am on a carpet, which is harder when you're practicing yoga. It's a lot easier when you have a wooden floor. Inhale and exhale. I'm going to look at that as trying to balance on this carpet is a helpful thing because it's probably helping me with my balance. You can also hold on to that chair if you'd like. We'll work towards our chest expansions. Inhaling, exhaling. Massage that spine again, the muscle beside the spine, the two bands of muscles. Inhale and bring our wings together. We go into a forward fold. We can come to a flat back first, or if you have high blood pressure, that's probably where you want to stay. Let's just come part of the way down. And the next time, maybe a little bit further. Might be kind of interesting to go down one side. The other side. We'll go to your mountain pose. So we'll have our feet hip width apart. You can start with your hands, your palms facing forward, bringing those ears over the shoulders. Perhaps feeling the string connected to the top of your head, connecting you to the ceiling. Inhale, exhale, bring your fingers toward the floor, stretching the tops of your shoulders. I'll ask you to lace your fingers next. We'll inhale. Bring your hands to your waist, or you might interlock behind your back. Inhale and exhale over to the side. Back. And come forward. Softening the knees, tightening the tummy as you come up. Okay, now we're clear. We have finished our sequence. So you can come back to the chair. And I would like to teach you about some counting breath. This can help if you're feeling anxious or worried. And we're going to use the pinky, the ring finger, and the middle finger, and the creases and the tips of the fingers to kind of keep count. We'll do 2 rounds, and how you get started is separating the pointer finger from your middle finger, like so, and then you join your hands together. So I'll come closer so you can see what I'm doing. That's a little confusing. Like that. All right. Okay. So now you're in a position where you can use your thumb if you want, and you can start at the base of the pinky, and you can inhale, then exhale. And then you move the thumb up to the next crease of the pinky and breathe. Move the thumb up to the next crease in the pinky. And then to the tip of the pinky. We'll continue with the ring finger, same way, and then the middle finger, and then we'll start over. So we'll do the hand, going through the hand twice. You can have your eyes opened or closed. If you have them open, you can cast them down. So we'll begin at the base of the ring finger. You may have finished your first round, or you might not have, or you might have already be halfway through your second round, but we'll continue with our second round, and after we finish that, we'll be finished for today. And if the thumb doesn't want to go to those creases, just reach it towards it, or you can visualize it. Okay. If you're not finished, you can continue working towards your finishing. We'll go ahead and conclude our chair class today, and just with the remembering that some days are good, some days are bad, and at the best of our abilities for our peace of mind, we can try to flow with the stream instead of resisting, trying to go upstream. When we resist, we'll persist. If you want, you can bring your hands together. You'll inhale and exhale one last time. You might want to bend forward if you like. Bring your hands to your forehead. And we'll close with namaste. I hope that I brought you some peace today.